Good morning, and thank you very much indeed for joining us. This is the Western Spectrum, a program that comes to you every Monday. Every week, it's discussing issues that affect issues of people from this particular region. But more importantly, today is December 1st, so we'll be discussing matters HIV/AIDS, and of course, that has been a topic that has been on the people's lips for the last for more than a decade. And of course, we continue to have it. Today, of course, the world or the country joins the world in celebrating World AIDS Day. And of course, we'll be looking at the gains that we made over the years. And of course, the drawbacks in the wake of cutting of funding from the US and other donor partners. But also what as a country we can do in terms of ensuring that indeed we leverage on the gains that we made over the years. But more so importantly, how do we find local solutions? On my set, of course, we have two gracious ladies, Lucy Okat from National Syndemic Disease Control Council, and of course we also have Sharon, who is a community person. She deals. She's an activist, human rights activist, but also directly engages people living with HIV, but also actively engages matters GBV and other related matters. So they'll be delving deeper in the issue of HIV, how we can actually navigate through the pitfalls and of course the gains, and more importantly ensuring that this country moves forward. Statistics will be released today, of course, are already out there. But being the December 1st, my tradition has always been that I test on December 1st, so then I get to understand my status. I don't know what to do on December 1st in terms of just ensuring that you are part and parcel of this journey of fighting or gaining ground on HIV/AIDS. I will be asking my panelists to tell me what they do on December 1st. But before we delve into that, the biggest question to you, Lucy, is testing is the first step. And looking at the statistics that have actually been released, 3,000 new infections this year.
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Basically, what I can say, it really takes us back where we were from. Because basically we are supposed to reduce the new infections. But you can see the infections are still increasing. So it's really a challenge to us. And we really need to know where these infections are coming from. Because we have a target. By 2030, we need to close the two tabs. We have two tabs that needs to be closed. We have the first tab of new infections, and we have the other one for deaths. So if we can't close for the new infections, then we are not doing well. So by 2030, we need to close those tabs, and the new infections, we have to stop them. Mothers, we don't need children to be born with HIV. We don't need any infections from any other person. So we really need to work hard with the community, with the partners, with everybody involved. Yes.
3,000, the number. When you look at it from a distance, or when you mention 3,000, it looks far, a number that is actually far away from us.
Yes.
But when you break it down, that simply means we are dealing with about 10 people per day being infected.
Yes.
What are we doing wrong?
I think we are doing better in terms of advocacy. But I think the community, the society, the way we are taking things, we are supposed to be tested. People are not going for testing. We are supposed to adhere to our drugs. People are not adhering to our drugs. We are supposed to take prevention measures like condom programming. We have to use condom. People are not doing that. So basically, my side I can say we are not doing that bad, but the community now, the people we are reaching, they are not also helping us to reach we are supposed to reach. Because 3,000, 10 person, in 10 people, you have to get one person, new infection. So basically, there's something that is going wrong with the community. If it is awareness, we've done that. We've gone to schools. We've gone to churches. The number one, the awareness. In a same way, lack of knowledge leads to death. So we've really tried to reach people. However, the people, the way they take it, it's really, I don't know what's happening to the community.
Sharon, let me bring you into the conversation.
Yes.
Awareness is something that we cannot even talk about in Kenya, because that has been done over the years. And over the years, that is something that we acknowledge that indeed players in the sector have actually done much in terms of creating awareness. However, teething problems persist. One of them, as she has aptly put it, is the fact that people are missing on their drugs. People are not testing. People, those that are actually tested, are not adhering to the drugs regimen. But sad also is that young people are not using condoms.
Yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Simon. Just to put it the way, just to add on whatever she has said, we realize that the age that is having more infections at the age of about, let's say, 25 to 60 or around 18 to 60, AYPs and young people. So within that age bracket, there's this mentality of it's okay, like they've taken life that easily, and in most cases, when you follow up on, I'm doing some program with AfroCamp. So as a community facilitator, we do we call those who had missed their appointments. We also look for lost to follow up who are at some point they've interrupted their treatment. Nowadays we don't call them defaulters, we call them treatment interrupters.
Yes.
So at some point you find that a number of them have missed their appointments, then they end up being a loss to follow up. So by the time you're following up, yes, there are those excuses that they give, but in real sense there's also an aspect of denial. Some of them don't want to come out openly and maybe access their medication, and some of them feel like it is okay, like, I'm sorry to use the Gen Z we have now. I'm also a Gen Z, yes. So these are the things we go through. When we're in our support groups, our sessions, you hear them talk freely. Because in most cases, when you want to hear their views, you behave like them. So it's fortunate that I'm one of them, and you can hear them share their views.
What they talk about?
They have those reasons, those weird or funny reasons. I can't
we want to listen to those weird and funny reasons. Yes.
Okay, in most cases wengine wanasema akitumia CD aoni kama ako sawa, ama there are those who say they are allergic to it. There are those who say they are not fully getting satisfied when they use the protection. So in this regard unapata sawa mtu ana risk na anaingia kwa hii nini ya kwanza kumeza madawa.
Yes.
Then at the same time, you find that we have people in a certain group where they feel like that those beliefs, kuna zile zenye mtu una find someone anakufinya mwili ndaone anasema huyu hapo sawa.
They have their own way of testing.
Yes, they have their own way of testing.
Very funny way of thinking.
So, yes.
Let me just cut you short so then I bring her into this conversation. We tend to find reasons to actually not test, to actually not use condoms, and to actually not take drugs.
Yes.
How do you navigate that?
Basically, let me first of all talk about the adolescents and young people. This is the area where the infections are very high.
Yes.
And this is the area where I think, number one, the knowledge on them. There was a time I was interacting with the adolescents. And they have no knowledge on condom use. And then when you check on the girls, especially the girls, there's a study that was done called Kenya Modes of Transmission Study. The adolescent girls, the infection rate is very high.
Lucy, they have no knowledge on condom use.
They have no knowledge on anything.
But
condom use, they don't even have that power to negotiate for condom use. That power to negotiate for condom use. For when adolescent girl or a youth girl comes to you, with them, so long as the man says, let us use without, that is it. And then again, these adolescents, unajua, that is the crew. Even if you go back to your youth, like me, if I go back to the youth, this is the time we find that sasa tumefika. We are the adolescents and the young people. We can't listen even to our parents. This is the time that we want to go to the clubs. This is the time that we want also to test their alcohol and drug substance abuse. This is the time that they don't want to listen. They are just on their own. So if they are not taken through, or if they are not washed, then there is a problem. The new infection will rise. And especially that condom use. The adolescents and young people, the girls, they don't have that power even to negotiate for that condom use. So basically, and then testing again, the stigma of testing. They don't want to go for testing. They don't want to take drugs. They are just there. And then unapata they fear pregnancy more than HIV. When you go to the pharmacies on Mondays, a lot of girls are on the line taking the emergency pills.
Yes.
However, they don't care about the infection, if they got infected or what. The only thing they ask for is the P2, but not even the PEP or anything else. Yeah.
Let me take you back to the power to negotiate.
Yes.
Use of condoms.
Yes.
What exactly is happening? Because I want to believe if two age mates have agreed on having intercourse, right? They are likely to negotiate on how they are actually going to go about it, right?
Yes.
However, it is difficult for intergenerational relationships.
Yes.
Is it part of the problem, just before we come to Sharon?
Yes, it is part of the problem. You find, like, for example, me and you, we are adults. We are more than, like me, I'm 40. So it's...
You look at it.
No. I'm always a Gen Z. I stay with Gen Zs in the house. So I'm 40. I have that power. I can tell you, use a condom or don't use a condom. But for a girl who is between 15 and 24, this is the time they want, go to the universities or colleges. This is the time they want sponsors to sponsor them for their lifestyle. This is the time they want a boyfriend. They want somebody to go out with. You can even have an adolescent girl who is having 5 or more than relationships. Then that girl wants money from you. That girl has no power to negotiate for condom. Her aim is to get money. She will not negotiate for condom use. She will not. And then they also lack knowledge. Sometimes you cannot negotiate, but you have that knowledge that I can use a female condom. If the man refuses, I have a female condom in me. So that negotiation of condom power, it's basically a challenge among adolescents who are girls between 15 to 24. Yeah.
Triple threat, of course, gender-based violence and teenage pregnancy is and of course new infection is part of what she's actually alluding to, the fact that, most girls don't have the ability to actually negotiate for use of condom, and those that would actually want to negotiate, they are likely to meet violence from their spouses or be denied some of the freebies that they expect from them. How do we ensure that we fight triple threat and ensure that we empower these girls so that then they can actually be on the forefront in terms of just negotiating, saying yes, we are in it, but we must use protection?
Okay. How to ensure that this works out?
Yes, and if they've not used protection, right, they can actually seek post-exposure prophylaxis the following day.
Yes. Okay, I would first say an empowered woman may have a choice of what to do and what not to do. So this comes in economically. When they are economically empowered, they are physically okay, they are financially stable, at least you have something that you can be doing so that you do not...
And also going to school.
Yes.
Yes, and we're talking about university students, right?
Not only university students, education is very important. Just going to school. Make sure you go to school. Have something here. Yeah. Okay, so that can guide you on what to decide, what to do, and at what time, and at which place is right for that thing to be done. So when this lady is empowered, they have some knowledge with them, they are able to make some decisions. But kama ni mtutu ako pale, ile anaambiwa tu anasema si alishasema. You see that you are left with no option, you can't even defend yourself. But if a lady or a girl is empowered, they're able to get their own money, they're able to get their own resources. They're not si lazima wa depend kwa mtu ndo wapate kupata vitu. They're able to stand on their own. This lady can stand on their own and be, no, I don't feel this is okay with me, or this is okay. They can give consent in the right way. It's not just about giving consent kwa sababu ya hiyo time imekam, lakini unaona ni kama if I give consent to this, how is it going to bring an impact into my life, either positively or negatively? So when I would greatly advocate for economical empowerment for our girls and for our women, so that they have that option to choose what is right for them. So you find many of our people are left with in dilemma where they can't choose between the right and the wrong. Ile anategemea mtu lazima amlete ndo haishi. So you find them falling into GBV because they have no option. Hapo analishwa, anafanyiwa everything. So anaona akitoka atakuwa anaenda wapi? Unaona? So they are left with no option. Ako hapa GBV na mkula huko. Hapo ako na mimba. The same time ako infected. Then our young girls again, some of them are left with no option. The cost of living, the life they are living. Poverty is also a factor where they feel like if I go into marriage, I might be better off than the place I am now. So when they're getting into that marriage, they are not economically empowered. They have nothing that they can do to bring something on the table. The same time, you go into that marriage out of maybe stress that you are passing through in your home. You're getting married to this man who is not also ready for that responsibility. You get pregnant there, you get infected. In the process, GBV comes in. So you find you have no option but just to stay in, because unaona ukitoka sasa utafanya
namna gani?
Yes.
Lucy, how do we bring everyone on board in terms of what she's talked about, GBV, triple threat,
Yes.
and of course new infections? How do you bring everyone on board?
Okay.
And I'm talking about community elders, opinion leaders, the
yes.
youth, and of course players in the sector in terms of professionals,
Okay.
so that then we can actually fight this big monster that is before us.
Yeah, first of all, the triple threat that we are talking about. And when we talk about the triple threat, we talk about the teen pregnancies, we talk about the gender-based violence, and we talk about the new HIV infections among adolescents and young people. Bringing people in board is very, very important. And especially when we started this triple threat, we decided to engage the community elders and the faith-based organizations, and also the watu wa askari hao inaitwaje, the APs, those ones. Why not the APs but that government that includes the chiefs, administration. Yeah, I wanted to talk about the Ngao. So we involved the Ngaos. The reason why we wanted to bring the Ngaos in, remember at the community level we have the elder mlango, wanaitwanga mlango, the elder, the village elder. Yes. We have the village elder, we have the sub chiefs, we have the chiefs. And remember this, the same community, this is where the triple threat is happening. I remember, let me just give you a story. Back when I was still in primary school, I went to a village school. That is in Barturo, in the village, very village. I was the only girl who completed class 8 without getting pregnant. Yeah. And sometimes I always say it was because of my mother in the village. My mother was so tough on me. I used to sleep with my mother till the end of my school, the same house, to sleep in the same house. So in the village, you find that teen pregnancy is very common. But we have to involve everyone. And I always say we start with the parents. If you start with the parent, then we are going to reduce this triple threat. Because the parent, number one, parent has to be a friend to the child. Because remember, even this teen pregnancy, what is it contribute? What are the factors? These girls are going for older men, or their teachers, or the policemen, or the people within the village. Why? Because they need only 100 bob to buy sanitary towels. And if they are friendly to their mothers, the mother can sponsor that. Even the parent can sponsor that. 100 bob for your child to get a sanitary towel. Maybe the child needs something, maybe a panty or needs something. You know, the girl is naive. Remember, a child of 10 years old. 10 years, by 10 years I was in class 4. Imagine a class 4 in a labor ward. Doing what? With people who are 15 and above, people who are 18 and above. So the parents, we have to start with the parents in the house. And then now we go to the society. We have with the community. We have the religious leaders. Churches, they have to give this information. And then they also have to know that when you are maybe rape cases, in terms of rape, sexual gender-based violence, where are you supposed to report to? What are we supposed to do? At what time, during what time, which window period? Because we don't want infections after the maybe the rape cases or the sexual gender-based violence. So we have also to engage from parents, we have the community leaders, we have the community health promoters, we have the chiefs, we have the sub-chiefs, and we have those village elders that are always there. So I think that is the best way to go and to reduce the new infections of HIV among adolescents and young people. We don't want any infection on these girls. We don't want them to come. We don't want those teen pregnancies. Because now when I was growing up to late now, we don't want to see that. Those sexual gender-based violence, the new infections that are coming out from that, we don't want, because we want our girls and we want also our young people to know that when you are raped, you have to go to the hospital within 72 hours. Yes, so
Lucy,
yes.
Not wanting is one thing, but actually actioning our not wanting is another. And one of the things that can actually be done, and you guys have already alluded to it quite often, is the fact that there are things that our girls need and they cannot access them.
Yeah.
There are simple things. For instance, where do I get a female condom? If a man is not going to use a male condom, then I can actually have female condom, right? Where do I get post-exposure prophylaxis? Do we have facilities that are welcoming if nurses or medical practitioners in that institution will not start judging me when I walk into that facility? I want post-exposure prophylaxis. Can I get sanitary towels when I need them, so that then a man out there will not take advantage of the fact that I don't have sanitary towels? I'm talking about funding, finding local solutions in terms of so that then we don't rely on US donors, Melinda Gates Foundation, and all other donors out there that can actually decide in a day that we're not funding Africa on these areas. How do we find local solutions? How do we ensure that indeed some of these local solutions are incorporated in our activities, so that then we don't get ourselves in situations whereby we are caught off guard when donors decide we are not funding?
Yes, basically the donor funding, it has really affected us. Even in this World AIDS Day, we have some organizations that committed to support us, and then after I think some 2 days to Wakatoka, they are not there. So we had a gap because of what? The donor withdrawing. So number one, what we can basically say, in our country, we have our budgets. We have the county assembly, they have their budgets. The women rep, I think they have their budget. As a county or at the local area, we need to now focus on how we can budget for HIV activities. Moving forward, maybe in the next few years, all of them will have gone away, and we are only remaining with ourselves, and we have to manage ourselves. Remember, we have people who are living with the HIV. We have our girls that need the PEP. We have our girls that needs 1, 2, 3 the condom. Right now, there's a shortage of condom. There's a shortage of condom that even that female condom, getting it's not.
It's a problem.
It's a problem. So right now we have to find a solution within us. And as I've said it before, it has to start from the house. From the house, we have to see our girls. You have a girl in the house. You have to ensure that girl has a sanitary towel, because there's nobody who is going to give it out. The donors are moving away. However, we have also to approach our leaders. We have leaders that have those budget, the area MP. We have to approach them. We have the women rep that is supposed to be supporting our girls, that they understand the women. We have to move to them. And then the health department, the counties also. With the moving forward, they'll have to budget for that.
They'll have to budget for
yes.
it. Sharon?
Yes.
Dealing with lack of condoms, dealing with lack of ARVs, is actually dealing with the problem itself, right? However, there are other support factors, like I've said, sanitary towels.
Yes.
These are small things that if we get it right, our girls will not go looking for boda riders, will not go looking for the employed men, so that then they can actually buy them sanitary towels. And it is important actually that we find ways of ensuring, first, that sanitary towels are available, that two, that they are accessible.
Yes.
And 3, they are affordable, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So in that connection, we would, to me, I would prefer that the government comes in, because us having monthly periods every month, it's not something that every girl chooses to have.
Yeah.
It's something that comes naturally. So we should consider this, that this is also should also be categorized under national disasters or natural calamities. This is something that we don't choose to have. But now you can choose to have sex or not, unless you are raped. But you can choose to
Not to have.
or to have.
Not have it.
So for women, we don't choose not to attend, not to have our monthly periods. So the government can come in that budget allocation, they allocate some few fundings for the pads, the sanitary towels, and the sanitary towels are not just worn that way. So if they are putting that funding, they have to ensure that they also have some other things around it, like the panties, because you need that panty to put a sanitary towel. You can give a girl a sanitary towel, but they don't even have that underwear. So
Yes.
where are they going to place it?
Yeah.
So they need to consider all this. Then again, sometimes back we used to have organizations that would support girls with pads, and they would put pad banks. But most of these organizations were being supported by the USAID, which are now cut off. We no longer have them. So it means we are in a crisis.
Crisis.
So the Kenyan government should come in, and this is the time that they should set some funding for pad banks, so that every girl is able to access this pad. The same way men are able to access condoms hata kwa choo. Anaendanga anapata imewekwa kwa hiyo box anatoa. So we ladies should also be able to access those pads. So in avenues that they may want to put these things, we have organizations that deal with girls and young women. Then we have these youth-friendly centers, which are youth-led, and the youths are in charge of that center. So we need to ensure that these youth-friendly centers are increased in number, almost in every sub-location, because we have women in every place, so that they're able to access all this, either sexual reproductive health rights, their contraception and everything else, and the pads. So they're able just to say, I think my days are almost 3 days too. Let me go to that youth-friendly center, I pick a pad and come back home. They're free to do that. So if they are able to access these services, then we have these youth-friendly centers supporting them in other activities. We've had cases where we organize even tournaments and they compete against each other. Hii time mtu ako kwa tournament, hata kama ni spectator ama ni player ama ni nini, it keeps them away from involving into other activities that may have contributed to triple threat. So if you can organize this during holidays, tunakuwa na hizi competition, these talent shows. We have girls, we have boys who have very different and good talents. So we can be putting more effort in these youth-friendly centers. The way we've aligned this as a national triple threat, it will help us manage all this. Let's engage them. Then again, let's start doing sex education while our children are still very young. Sahi wanachanuka haraka sana. At the age of 9, mtoto mdogo ashajua what is this and what is this. No. I think the youngest mother we have around the world is 9 years.
8.
Yes, 8, 9 years. You can imagine a 9-year-old and 8-year-old kwa boma na mimba. Hata wewe mzazi unafikiria aje? So we need to start sex education as early enough, so that as they grow, we understand it might be very sweet, but now do it at the right time. Give time, give everything their own time. There's that time to enjoy all that. Uko mbele. But hapa katikati, encourage mtoto. This is what is supposed to be done. This is what is not supposed to be done. Then again, let's encourage early testing, early diagnosis, so that we start, in case somebody is tested or diagnosed and found positive, let's encourage them to start medication early enough, so that to avoid AHD. Now we are having the advanced HIV disease. Kitambo ilikuwa inaitwa AIDS.
Yes.
We are giving it a new name,
Yeah.
AHD. So to avoid all this, na sio lazima mtu akwetu ako positive akwe ako AHD. No. There are all those other factors that comes in. The moment you are positive, you are on care and you're not adhering to your drugs, it means you're moving closer to AHD. This is where you are on care. TB gets you. These are the opportunistic diseases. The moment you have all of them with you and you're already on care, it means you are in that stage of AHD. Ile AIDS ya kitambo yenye watu walikuwa wanaogopa. So it still exists, but now it's called advanced HIV disease. So people need to get early diagnosis so that we help all this to avoid deaths. We can avoid them. We've seen, I think the data yesterday was showing around 20-something deaths, 20,000 deaths. So you can imagine if we are losing a number of people like that in a year, then how many are we going to lose maybe in a span of 5 years? That is a bigger number. So if there's something...
Remember the target is pretty bad. No
Yes.
deaths, no new infections. Yes.
And we are still losing 20,000. That is a big number. Watu
It is,
elfu ishirini ni watu wengi sana.
Watu wengi sana. It boils down to planning. And if you want to know that indeed lack of planning is a very serious omission. About 40,000 people, teenagers in Homa Bay County were actually enrolled on a US project. And when they cut funding,
Imagine.
they all have to go home and miss out on the facilities. So we cannot overemphasize the issue of planning, proper planning.
I can remember there was a time, during that time when Trump said everything was everything was disrupted and everything was in a mess. I personally am a beneficiary of a Dreams project where girls were being
It's
taught.
actually your project, yes.
Yes.
Poleni sana.
So being a beneficiary, I also wished that other girls would have gone through the process and finished successfully and at least have something else to do in the future. So at some point I felt pain when I saw some of the girls that I teach, some of the girls that I sensitize, now going home with sad faces. The project is over, they have nothing to look for. You can remember these projects used to take girls to schools. I'm one of them who actually I did media at some point, but now I diverted. I'm now a paralegal, just the same through that same process. So I also wish that other girls would be that empowered and move a step like I moved due to that project. Not that they were cut off. Our girls are just our
They've been left out there.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
and even to add on that, you talked about planning. I think the people who are implementing programs lack proper planning. If I can give you maybe a story about a project that was happening in Homa Bay between, I think, the year 2020 to 2023. It was being supported by Bill Gates Foundation, the University of Washington. There was a project called LISTEN, Local Innovative Through Enterprise Network. Basically, the people, when they gave us the project, they told us, you will never, you are not supposed to depend on donors forever for your problems. You have to find a problem, then find a solution. And then that solution should be on you yourself. So what they were trying to tell us, you can as well do your things alone without donors. And for example, in Homa Bay, because I was part of that project in Homa Bay, it was only in Homa, it was being piloted in Homa Bay and Kiambu. And then after that, they wanted us to scale it out, to roll it out to the whole counties and then implement it. We are not supposed to come and give you money, but we are supposed to give you ideas how you can solve your problem. For example, we went to Homa Bay, went up to Fangano. We were targeting Boda and the fisher folks. We went and listened to their problems. They told us all their problems, including the HIV new infections. Then after that, a solution is, these are the problems. Now find a solution. We find, like for example, the fisher folks along Mfangano, they say they have a problem with the weather. They're dying fishing. The next meeting, we are going with the meteorological department to give them the solution, how they can prevent that death. If they say they have a problem with new HIV infections, we go back with the health department team. How are we going to do about that? Then the next, maybe the border, the police harassment. The next, we are going back with the the police commander and tell them so basically what I'm trying to say, they told us we have to use human-centered design. So you have to find your problems and you know how to solve it yourself. You are poor. The border, they were told you are having money all the time, 150 bob. Why can't you come in a group? Every day, each one of you contribute 100. If you are 700, like within they were sub-county, within they were North Kapkoch, they were told you are 700 people. Each one of you contribute 100 bob. Then come up with a petrol station, something that will help you in future.
Something sustainable.
Yes. So we were, the project that was being supported with Bill Gates, they were just trying to tell us, not donors will pull away, but we have to manage ourselves with our own solutions.
And also just still on donors, because that is something that you alluded to, but I mean we moved pretty fast over it. Is the issue of fearing pregnancy is more than the virus, right? And I want to connect it back to a study done by Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation that actually found that more girls, especially the ages of 14 to 24, are likely to seek illegal abortion backstreet, right?
Yes.
And 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 10 6 out of 10 will actually likely seek illegal abortion backstreet, and of course half of that number is also likely to lose their life through seeking those services. And one program that was actually initiated in informal settlement, Dreams must be knowing that,
Yes.
is the enrollment of young girls as young as 8 and 9 to family planning methods, right? So basically you have actually given these young girls a license to go out and have unprotected sex because they will not get pregnant. Is there a need to actually ensure that, yes, even as we allow these programs in our communities, right, that we look at them critically and look at the wider picture in terms of the effect they're going to have to the community? Yes.
Basically, when we talk about the young girls at the age of 8, 9, 10 to get the family
and who in their right mind will actually put an 8-year-old on family planning?
And I don't think they go alone. It's with consent, with parents. I think 15 and above are the ones who are allowed. I don't know whether 18 or what. But with them, even the parents fear their daughters. Imagine your daughter at 8 coming with...
You've not answered the question. Who in their right mind would put an 8-year-old, 9-year-old on family planning?
Nobody.
Or even a 15-year-old?
Nobody.
Continue.
Nobody. In fact, there was a time I remember I saw a young girl at the age of 12, 13 years old with Itwanga, and I was shocked. Implant. I think she was around 12, 13. Then I got shocked and I was like, what's happening? And the mother is the one who took her too. She didn't even know that she was having something. She just told me that my mother told me it's something to prevent me from something. But it's a disease, I don't know. She told me another name of a disease. She didn't even know. The mother had known this girl has been sexually active. So the mother herself is fearing. Imagine a 12-year-old coming with you. And then also with the burden, utakuwa grandmother, and then you are the person who is going to buy pampers.
Which is easier? Talking to this girl, taking this girl through, as she said, sex education. Or, exposing her to this, hormonal imbalance that high. Which is easier?
I think it's sex education, and sex education starts with the parent. I talked about the parent. Be your friend to your child. Sex education starts within you, and it should start as early as somebody asked which age group. It should start as early as possible. Even just start at 2 years. Don't tell somebody. Maybe a child comes to you, "Mami, hii inaitwa nini?" Then you tell, "This is dudu, something dudu." Tell that child the correct word of that. The thing that child is asking. Don't hide around the corner. children are telling, no, mommy, how do people get pregnant? The children are being bought from the supermarket. Tell that child the way it is, because you are going to tell that person that the child is being bought from the supermarket. However, the teacher or the other friends, the ones they are playing with, they will tell her, your mother, mamako na babako walifanya tabia mbaya, ndio mtoto akakuja. Then the child will really trust the other person more than the parents.
We are pressed for time, right?
Yes.
So in conclusion, when you came here, you were complaining about time. I told you 1 hour is a very short period. You're complaining about time. We actually done with our hour, right? So in conclusion, the country is supposed to be, the issue of injectable ARVs just about to come, right? So you are urged to members of the public and those that actually want to seek these services. As we conclude, I also give 30 seconds, so then we conclude.
We have a prevention ARV that is being rolled out, and we are very, very happy that Kenya is one of the countries that have been approved by the World Health Organizations. So, and for example, let me talk about Kisumu, because I'm in Kisumu. The Kisumu healthcare workers, the TOTs have been trained about it, and they are supposed to scale it out to the healthcare workers. So this is the injectable drug, the one that I'm talking about. It's just to prevent you from getting HIV. It's like a PrEP, and it's being injected twice in a year, 6 months and then again 6 months. And it does not take HIV away from you forever, but it's just to make you, to prevent you. It is not, some people are asking about it, does it treat HIV? It does not treat
Prevention.
HIV, it's just prevention.
Key. Sharon.
Yes. Okay, in conclusion, I would just say that we start all this early. When something is realized early, it can be managed well until we see some successful stories and all that. So what I would just encourage our communities, let's work together, and those who are already on care, let's support them. I know it's heavy. Let's support them so that they also adhere to medication, so that they're okay, so that we don't lose them.
Fantastic.
Yes.
That is Sharon, of course, one of my panelists here today, of course, discussing matters pertaining HIV/AIDS and how we can actually navigate around it. If you were keen, you realize you have avoided statistics, because statistics, they are out there and don't actually, people tend to not associate with them. However, we wanted to discuss issues that are actually contributing to those statistics, and we moved pretty well. And as Sharon has aptly put it, please start early, ensure that you test early, and once you test, kindly get yourself on drugs. And Lucy has said that once you are actually on drugs, please avoid situations that will see you interrupting your medication. But also she says that the new injectable antiretroviral that will actually be introduced in the country next year, ensure that you have it. And it's not for treatment, it's just for prevention, to be taken twice per year. Of course, that is a discussion that will continue. My question to you is that, have you tested today? And if you have not tested, what are you waiting for? Those that have tested, kindly take the first step towards ensuring that indeed you are safe and you safeguard the community. On behalf of everyone who's actually been involved in this, our guest, and of course our camera operators, Martin Kivuti and Sube Nyamatiko, our logistics person, Edwin Otieno, and of course my colleague from Mayenga, Philip Miyawa, my crew from Nairobi, Martin Njeru and John Muhika. It's thank you very much, and of course we cannot forget the management of Mirage Palace Hotel in Kisumu that continues to give us this space, so then you can actually have this conversation every Monday. Till again next time when we'll be discussing other issues, kindly keep it tuned.